Are your Apple devices being used exactly the way that your business needs? Or are users accessing applications and features that they shouldn't? Welcome back to the SOTI video series on Apple device management. My name is Anton, and in today's video, we're gonna talk about application management for iOS and iPadOS devices. If you haven't seen our previous videos on Apple device management, on how to enroll devices and how to configure them, please click the link in the description. But in today's video, we're gonna talk about how you can restrict applications in SOTI MobiControl and also how to use something called single app mode for iOS and iPadOS devices. But first, let's talk about why you want to use single app mode. Single app mode allows administrators to lock an iPhone or an iPad to one specific application. This is commonly used in retail kiosks, warehousing, point of sale systems, healthcare, or even education. So instead of the user freely accessing the device, they can only interact with the application that you approve. This reduces distractions, improves security, and create a more streamlined user experience. Combine that with additional application restrictions in SOTI MobiControl, it gives you as an IT admin much greater control over all your Apple devices out in the field. Before we can go in and configure single app mode, there are a few requirements to keep in mind. First of all, you want to make sure that your device is enrolled into SOTI MobiControl. Next, we also want to make sure that whatever application we're going to put into that single app mode is already installed on the device. In my case, I will be using SOTI Surf, which is our own enterprise browser. And last but not least, we need to make sure that the device is considered supervised. This can be seen by going to the device details, scrolling down to the status, and then under supervised, you will see if it's considered supervised or non-supervised. This is especially important because Apple limits the device restrictions on non-supervised devices. Now, if your device is enrolled using Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager, it typically gets enabled during the enrollment process. Okay, so now that we make sure that all our prerequisites are met, now we can go ahead and create our single app mode profile. So first, let's head over to the profile section. We're going to expand on the sidebar and we're going to click Profiles. In the top right corner, we'll find the Add Profile button. And we're going to select Apple and iOS and iPadOS for this. And single app mode is a reactive profile, so make sure you select the reactive profile option. And please make sure that you give it a good name so we fully understand what this profile is meant to do. Now head over to the configuration settings. We can now click the plus icon, and in your security and restriction area, if you scroll down, you'll find the single app mode section. As I mentioned in my prerequisites, I want to use SOTI Surf. So in the top section, we're gonna search for SOTI Surf or whatever application you want to use. So once you have searched and found your application that you want to use in the single app mode, there are some additional settings and features that you can restrict or enable from this particular area, such as the touch, volume buttons, or even the zoom. You can do that directly from here. Now I'm going to leave it as default and I'm going to hit save. Now what you will notice is that once I hit save and assign and I select the group that my device is part of, the device immediately enters the single app mode. So let me show you. I'm gonna find my group here, I'm gonna hit assign, and then I'm gonna navigate over to my device, and you see in real time how the device enters single app mode, just like that. Now from this particular state, the device is locked to this application. In my case, it's SOTI Surf. So as I'm trying to click on the home button, or even if I try to restart the device, it's always gonna be locked to this application. Okay, so maybe using only one application is a little bit too extreme, and instead you wanna use more than one application. There is another feature we can use that's called application run control. So why don't we head back into the profile section, and let's create another profile that allows us to give more access. Okay, so I'm gonna navigate now back into the profile section, and I'm gonna create a new profile. Again, I'm gonna select iOS and iPad, reactive this time again, and of course give it a clear name what I'm trying to achieve here. Into the configuration section and hit the plus sign. And this time we're gonna use the application run control. So it's still in the same category under security and restrictions. Now there are two types that we can select. Either we can assign a few apps to block, or we can assign a few applications that we want to allow the end user to have access to. In my case, I'm going to allow a few apps, and I've already went ahead a little bit and created what I called business apps. And just to show you that within this area, I have added 5 applications that I want my end users to have access to. Now, obviously, if you want to add more applications, you can just click the plus sign. But once you're satisfied, you click OK, and then you just need to toggle this on. And the same thing as with all the profiles, if you want to assign it, you first hit save, and then we're going to save assign to our group. And what you will notice that once I hit assign and I go back to my device, you'll see in real time how all the application that was not part of that list gets removed. And now I only have access to the few applications that was part of my list. And that takes us to the end of this video on how to set up single app mode and also configure application restrictions on iOS and iPadOS devices in SOTI MobiControl. If you like what you see and you want to see more of these type of videos, remember to hit the like, click subscribe, and leave a comment on what you want to see next. Thank you.